when I get ready for trading in the morning, part of my warm-up process is to become a different person. And that transformation is the result of seeing what I don't want to be. You remember when I said, when you grow up in a perhaps less fortunate circumstance, you can use push away motivation or towards motivation. When I see how badly I have traded, or indeed if I have some recent examples of having traded badly, I use it as motivation. Predominantly, what my mind does not want to do is it does not like to add to winners. I am not naturally inclined to add to winning trades. But by going through a series of examples of where I have added to trade, or opposite, where I've seen myself adding to losing trades, I've flipped that switch. And somehow a transformation takes place in my mind that when I start trading, I will naturally want to do the very thing that my normal mind wouldn't want to do. So it's a really great question, because it's not there permanently. I have to force it every single day, mostly twice a day, when I trade the European session and the US session. And to be specific, I will watch my trades, usually in paper form, especially that FTSE example that he saw. And I'll say, if I get an opportunity to sell short the FTSE, and then I can sell short more at a lower price, that's the exact opposite of what I did. And I know that statistically, if I keep doing that, I will never be the 90%. Of course, I'm gonna have days like Monday. Of course they will be there. But if I can always do the right thing, and that's what I spoke to that gentleman earlier today. He was talking about, I don't want to do the wrong thing. And I said, well, what does that mean to do the wrong thing? Because you follow your strategy? Yes. Well, how did that be the wrong thing? Well, because I lost. Yeah, but you don't have a crystal ball. And you just saw this light coming up. Oh, yeah, no pay. Does that answer your question?
Yes, follow-up question.
Of course, there's always a follow-up. It's a bit like when they say, one quick question. 10 minutes later.
No, so really is. I have a follow-up question, and I got it. My trades, and honestly, my curve, had a dramatic change.
How does it feel emotionally to add? Wow. Was it easy for you?
Yeah.
Well, that is your answer. And if I added to a music tree? I guess you have. Does that feel easy to you?
It did.
Yeah.
Of course, I was signing out or buying at a better price.
But you have just explained to yourself and the audiences that what was easy was wrong and what was difficult was right. That is the essence of this perversion. In what world does it make sense to buy something today because today is more expensive than it was yesterday? It's a bit like going into a supermarket and going, oh, we want chicken today because it's more expensive today than it was yesterday. No, if you go to your supermarket and you see that chicken is more expensive today than it was yesterday, you're going to go, we're having tofu. But because we seek value. But in trading, it's the opposite parameter that works. And that's why trading is difficult. Because it goes against what we want to do.
So what about, and this is something that is really hard being able to figure out. But very soon I did that. I saw that you're at chain market cycles, right? And I think that what you teach, and I might be right or wrong, it applies to any market from my perspective. Because the structure is not really dependent on anything else, right? You win more units than the visit boost. So theoretically, I think it's brilliant for any market. But right now, for instance, I trade small caps, and then market, at least from my perspective, or setups that I focus on, are a little bit more So my question is, do I keep round trip it until the market cycle changes, or do I focus more on bases and resistances without app?
Well, I didn't need to ask for round trip in that, but you a round trip in a
Yeah, I go on, they go to zero and I'm out again, which I could do in a lot, like add and I let it run, right? So that's not fair.
Okay, I think for the clarity or brevity, for the sense of brevity and respecting the time, I'm gonna have to give you a short answer. Obviously, you have to adapt to your environment, and your environment is alien to me. My environment might be alien to you, but I also know that, as an example, say that we go into a summer doldrum. I made mistakes there because I have a home run mentality. And if I buy the FTSE at 10, do you as well, and it goes up to 50, and I buy again, I'm thinking this one's gonna go to 50, and I'm adding 300 lots or every 5 points. And I'm already mentally, I've already calculated that's a nice a 70,000 pound trade right there. I can't help myself. My mind has traveled to the future already, which may or may not be a good thing, but I'm fearless. But then the market then goes back to 10, you're thinking, perhaps this summer environment is not the best time to be the most aggressive. So one thing I keep an eye on is VIX. The VIX index also, shall we say, dictates how aggressive I ought to be. And I think that could be something that you perhaps advantageously use as well.
Okay, guys, we're gonna start wrapping it up. There was some data. We gotta go to Perch. Who here is coming to Perch? Everybody? Okay, yes, it's a straight shot that way. You don't want to miss the Perch. LA is the best place. So, yeah, we're starting to pack it up. That's still one question. Yeah, one.
Focus. You share, is this going to be a second book?
Yes, I believe that a second book is needed because I don't think that everything I wanted to say has been said. And the second book is called The Will to Act. And if there was ever anything that I would want to do apart from Tracy, it would be the exploration of the mind under stress. Because I find it incredibly informative in my own journey to find out of you might think, oh, he's got his sauce. I assure you I got nothing sauce whatsoever. Because every time you think you got something sauce, the market just throws something new at you, or life throws something new at you. And so that's the beauty of life. You just keep growing if you want to grow. If you don't want to grow, you just, take a side step. I don't want to not grow. But growing is also tremendously painful because it means you constantly have to make sure that you eat the right food, get the right amount of sleep, make sure that your blood sugar is stable so that you can maintain that ferocious energy. Because there's nothing worse than sitting there looking at the dial and all you really want to do is to go to bed because you've eaten carbohydrates for lunch and you have a big pasta dish and you're like, I don't want to drink that. I don't know about soap and job TV or drink Coca-Cola. So you're always on. Anyway, can I want to make a pledge here because I know that many people have traveled. You said there was 22 nationalities here. I don't know. 20 countries. So people can't
Go from the same country, so as we have a ton quarantine over there.
I pledge I will not leave this locality on every single one of you have had that inscription in your book if you want, and that selfie if you want that as well. So I will stay here to the bitter end. You're gonna have to tell her where to go afterward.
Wait just a moment. I come a long way away from to be part of this, and I want to express my deepest gratitude to you all. And this is not a cliche. You have to appreciate that you don't travel on an airplane for 15 hours just so you can come and collect a couple of $1,000 in speaking fee. It's not what it is about, because it truly isn't. It is because you wanna change how people feel and think and act around trading, which is my forte. But your questions fuel me. So I should be thanking you. Just because of you, there was easily a couple of material for chapters that I have gotten today. So thank you, every single one of you, for coming. I'm grateful. But above all, and maybe we should really put our hands together for David. Thanks so much.
guys.